Hey everybody, we are joined by my very good friend, Shannon McKain. She's a motivational speaker. She has great advice and tips for staying motivated. And if you're out there wondering what you're doing career-wise or job-wise, you have questions about that, she has some wonderful advice on how to keep yourself going and staying focused because right now it's really challenging. Shannon, thanks for joining me today.
Yes, Aubrey, thank you so much for having me join your show.
Well, first of all, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you got into this role of being a motivational speaker?
Yeah, it's the craziest thing, I tell you. I have been working as a motivational speaker for almost a decade now. And in my previous life, before working on my own, I worked in corporate America as an executive recruiter for a number of years. And over that time of working in corporate America as a recruiter, I got really fired up and passionate about what made some applicants stand out as opposed to others, despite having the exact same resume, and also just what was making some teams really great versus other teams that maybe weren't as great. And so I kind of started diving into my own research and really trying to understand a lot of those intricacies and dynamics. And so it really just led me to this opportunity where companies started asking me to come in and do speaking and consulting for them. And so I launched my own business in 2011 and have been doing it ever since.
Well, I know that you really enjoy helping people and sharing your knowledge, your wisdom with folks. As I mentioned off the top, a lot of people are dealing with different things, whether it be now working from a home environment, maybe they're on furlough, maybe they've lost their income and their job altogether, or maybe now they're panicking a little bit and they're like, I need to figure out my next move. I need to stay focused. What tips do you have for keeping motivated, given that we're all kind of been thrown into a new situation so quickly, so unexpectedly?
Yeah, the last few weeks have certainly been a change of pace for so many of us here in the United States. And so, since I've been working from home for almost a decade now, I certainly have faced those own challenges myself over the course of my own career as an entrepreneur. And so, definitely the rules of engagement are different now. And we have to come up with new ideas that are going to work for each and every single one of us. And so, some of my tips for staying motivated today would include definitely getting up and setting boundaries for yourself, still setting an alarm for yourself, still creating a game plan or a roadmap for how you want that day to play out, looking the part. I know a lot of people relish in the idea that, oh gosh, I can just roll out of bed today and I can just work from my pajamas. But really, that changes the psychological makeup of our brains of how productive we're actually going to be and whether or not we actually will achieve our goals that we have for that day. And so I definitely recommend that you still get up, dress the part, brush your teeth, and create a schedule for yourself every day.
Should we create long-term goals, or right now is it more of a day-to-day type?
Yeah, it's different for everyone. I think unemployment the last time I looked was soaring at over 10% now. And of course, a lot of workers are being furloughed and just asked to simply kind of, stay put or hold still for the time being. And then some other folks are, getting part-time jobs or whatever. You have to figure out what you have to do for yourself, and then you have to create the roadmap from there. And so whether that's daily goals or weekly goals, and then of course the big picture and then the small details each day. One of the things that I loved, and I'm glad that you asked me this question, I have been loving the Best Self Journal or Planner. It has changed my entire outlook because instead of focusing on, say, these are the things I want to accomplish over this year, a lot of people have their word for the year. It breaks it down into 13-week increments, and then it says three big goals that you want to achieve over those 13 weeks, and then it gives you your weekly and your daily to-do list that all still build up and support those three big goals over those 13 weeks. Now, again, it can be different for everyone right now because the playbook, there is no playbook right now. And so you have to ask yourself, what's the most important thing for me right now? Is it achieving sales? Is it paying rent? Is it making sure that my kids are being homeschooled properly? Whatever those goals are, you have to define them for yourself and then create that roadmap.
Yeah, I think that's so important. A roadmap, step by step. You can't plan it all in a day. What about folks that maybe they're facing that they lost their job, or maybe they were already in transition? Can they keep interviewing? Is there a way to keep networking, even though we're all kind of confined to our immediate home surroundings right now? Is there?
Yes. So I am a huge advocate for technology, even though in a lot of my speeches and engagements, I talk a lot about the power of in person human connection. But I'm still an advocate for technology, and especially right now, we all have to embrace it. And so, right now, your personal brand matters more than ever before. So, you want to make sure that you are putting out into the online communities a very clear and consistently defined brand, whatever that is, making sure that your headshot is the same across all social media platforms, making sure that your LinkedIn is up to date and as professional as you possibly can, making sure that you're writing or sharing articles that would be relevant to the industry that you are in or want to get into. And then, of course, making those connections, asking people to link and connect with you on LinkedIn, or asking people to connect and link with you on other social media platforms. Again, there's no rules of engagement right now, but if I can give you one piece of advice, it's that your brand has to be absolutely clear and concise to the folks that you're trying to attract.
I'd agree. And right now, if you have time on your hands, it's a wonderful time to work on that and really think it through. What is the message I want to come across when I represent myself as my own brand? Any other tips for staying motivated, just kind of in the big picture, how we're going to get through this? A lot of it's hard because we don't exactly have an end date for when things are going to get back to normal.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of folks participate in group Zoom calls or group FaceTime calls of some sort, trying to just connect and reach out to friends or family members. One of the things that I want to challenge people even a step farther is to say, find an accountability partner from a professional standpoint and say, hey, help me keep on track with these sorts of things, whether that's your diet and your health. I mean, diet and health play such a huge role in how we feel about ourselves professionally and personally. And so if we're getting off kilter with that, then it'll affect everything too. So, having that accountability partner and doing daily check-ins or maybe even hourly check-ins and creating fun challenges by saying, hey, you know what? I updated all my social media today by noon, and now let's take a 5-minute break. Or maybe I need to do water check-ins throughout the day, like making sure that I'm still drinking plenty of water. Or maybe I need to just get up and walk around your house and stretch for a few minutes. Just having that accountability really, really will help all of us get through this tough time.
That is such great advice. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to celebrate those little goals, whether it be taking 2 laps around the neighborhood, or like you said, even just taking those water breaks to refresh and stay on track. I think that's the most important thing. How can people follow you, stay in touch with you if they have more questions related to career or just some of the great tips you have for staying motivated?
Absolutely. All of my contact information is on my website. It's shannonmckain.com. And then on social media, I'm Shannon L. McKain on most of my handles.
Awesome, Shannon. Always so wonderful to talk to you and feel some of that motivation. You're such a great energy, and it was a joy to talk to you today and be able to share this with everyone.
Thanks so much, Aubrey.
Awesome. Take care.